Sit down and don't say a word. What you did out there with Justin was some of the dumbest shit I have seen this year. And the fact that you ignored our orders at the end, you're lucky we're keeping you around. I hope you realize that this failure of teamwork has ruined our contract talks with Justin, and he's already signing with another team. If you're going to stay with us for next year, you better smarten up quickly. Now get out.
Well, that's a start to an episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, headed into Pocono Speedway. Fresh off the news of Justin Haley leaving KAULIG Racing in kind of anger after what happened in New Hampshire. He is signed with Rick Ware Racing going into the next season. As you can imagine, we had a bit of a role in it after refusing to do the team orders, and I was asked about it in the media right away.
Well, Gary, Justin threw you under the bus and said he's leaving directly because of you. How are you going to approach the rest of the year?
I'm not going to do anything different, Steve. I made my decision there in New Hampshire. We had a good chat after the race with the team owner, and we're just going to move on, and I'm just going to continue to do my thing and make the playoffs. You heard me and Steve Letarte. You're probably going to hear him talk about it in the pre-race show there. But, here we are on track in practice. Problem was the car was really slow. But, back on those team orders, we're trying to make the playoffs in a 4-star car. We're on the bubble. So is Haley. We didn't mean to wreck him, and I just don't believe in following those kind of team orders in that kind of scenario. I'm certainly down to be a team player, but not in the scenario where we are fighting for every single point we can to try and make the playoffs. That is so difficult to do in the caliber car that we currently have. As well, it led to Justin Haley saying, you know what, I'm not happy, I'm out, and he's leaving at the end of the season. He's going to Rick Ware Racing full time, and they will have an alliance with RFK next season. This could work out pretty well for Justin Haley. This also helps me, because KAULIG was probably going to sack me if Haley stuck around because of this, but now they're kind of forced to keep me because of a sudden change there. So probably in the next episode, we will have a contract signed with KAULIG Racing for an extension, hopefully, but at the same time, they did warn us, we got to clean it up if we want to stay around, so it might take a bit longer than anticipated. Stay tuned. Nonetheless, in qualifying, it was pretty evident that there wasn't a lot of speed in this car in practice, but it would kind of turn around in qualifying. We're going to come down this front straightaway, cross the stripe with a 55.258, and actually go P22 at the tricky triangle. This is, such a tricky track here, and it's going to be a difficult race. Our teammate of Haley, P26 here, so some work to do for him, work to do for myself. Martin Truex Jr. in 29th place, a really awful effort there from the Joe Gibbs driver, who's still trying to claw his way into the playoffs as well, as we look through the rest of the order. Bell actually outside of the top 10. Chastain, Blaney, however, your front row here. Now, we had Trucks and Xfinity finally back this weekend together. Truck Series here. We're going to take a look after they were racing in Kentucky. Zane Smith picked up the victory here as you see the rest of the order. So Smith finally, I think that's his first win of the season in what's been a dominant season. Here's the Xfinity order. Cole Custer, another win. They were over in New Hampshire. It seems like the Xfinity calendar is always one race behind for whatever reason with this mod, but it doesn't matter too much to me. Now, let's get ready to roll on Sunday in Pocono.
Welcome, race fans, to the Tricky Triangle from Pocono Raceway. Fresh off of a lot of drama last week focused around teammates Gary Owen and Justin Haley.
I talked to Gary before practice, and he said he's just going to keep doing what he's been doing, Rick.
That's led to Haley, pulling the plug out of anger on his KAULIG run. From what I heard, KAULIG was already deciding to drop Owen after what happened, but this actually might force them to work things out and keep him for next year.
Alright team, let's just put last week behind us and focus in on what's now, and of course I'm going to try and make everything up that I can to this team and prove that I belong here.
Do your thing, the 16 team has your back.
Although KAULIG not the happiest with us at the moment, the 16 bunch definitely seems to be behind us in this situation here, as we are ready to go racing in the Gander Outdoors 400. Todd Gilliland not nearly as fast as expected. Austin Dillon for Richard Childress Racing there in that number 3 failed pre-race inspection. He'll be starting from the back. We got the Top Golf colors back on the car here today, which is a beautiful paint scheme Sanok whipped up there, of course, at the beginning of this season. The green flag, however, is out here from Pocono. The final 6 races of the regular season are underway here from the Tricky Triangle. So, very short stage 1 actually here in Pocono. Only 6 laps, which is extremely short compared to stage 2, which I think is 14 laps, and then the final stage is about 15, 16 laps, only a couple more laps added on compared to stage number 2. Pocono is a very high speed circuit, so although we qualified 22nd, I think we're going to have a rough day here in Pocono, to say the least. Now, you're going to notice the top-end speed. We're going to be struggling, and we have some tracks on the calendar in these final 6 races that I'm concerned about, and then there's tracks that I'm excited about. Now, I'll just give you the list right now. The concerned tracks of the final 6, this one right here in Pocono, Michigan, another high-speed circuit, which is not going to help our 4-star team, and Richmond is just a short track that I never vibe with on anything, so I'm a little bit concerned for that as well. But then, you have 3 tracks that I'm excited for. Indianapolis Road Course, you know I'm excited for any type of road racing. Watkins Glen, one of my favorite road circuits in the world, which had a terrible cup race in real life this past weekend, unfortunately. But then Daytona, of course, anything can happen there, so that one can go great for us, it could go bad for us. If you think back to the Daytona 500 there in our debut, it did not go well at all. We didn't even enter the top 10, so it's going to be an interesting battle right to the end of this playoff now. As you can see, Haley at my inside keeps it clean. We keep it clean with each other. I gave him plenty of room, of course, not trying to make him angry because he's obviously not happy with us, and it's going to be like that for the final part of the season. Ross Chastain out in front, but such a short stage here. We're already lap 4 of 6, and I was down to P27, and like I said, I told you guys, the car, I didn't think it was going to be very fast after qualifying, and sure enough, I'm racing with Allgaier. He is not going to be in the car starting next episode. We're going to be seeing Trevor Bayne has inked a deal to get into that 42, and as well, Grant Enfinger. So those 2 guys will be doing some races, the majority of the rest of the races. Allgaier still has some more on the way before the end of the year in the 42. But Denny Hamlin leading here in Pocono, a track that he has so much success at in the past, of course, in his rookie season, picking up the wins here in Pocono. But on the final lap of stage 1, down to 28th place. So awful. But watch the track map. Yep, it's going to be Christopher Bell, who started 11th, taking the stage win on the final lap here in Pocono, of course. I don't know how this 20 continues to bring this speed in the summer months of this calendar, but he does, and that's, what, stage win number like 11? Christopher Bell is probably going to win this regular season championship and have so many playoff points to start the playoff. I already consider him a Final 4 lock, but what's awesome about the AI in NASCAR Heat 5 is it's the most unpredictable AI, just like real life, and you know, anything can happen come playoff time, so it's going to be interesting. Some big adjustments coming here in the pit lane with wedge, tape, tire pressures, etc., because we were so bad. You know, we're P26, we gained 2 spots out of the pit lane here. We have got a lot of work to do, but I just don't know how much of that work is really going to help us here today. Pocono, like I said, such a difficult track, and at a high-speed track, it's so hard to get this car to really, of course, do anything. Now, our tunnel turn speed is definitely the strong point of this car. We can make up time on the fastest car on track in the tunnel turn, but then we're losing down every straightaway, and we're losing a bit in 1 and 3, or how many turns do you guys think Pocono has? I'm still a believer it's got like 6 turns, but they say turns 3. I don't know. I consider it like a 6-turn circuit. Nonetheless, deciding to stay to the outside on that restart, a good move. We're around the outside of the 17 of Busher, one of the bubble drivers, up the inside of Cindric through that tunnel turn. He goes about a lane wide. That allows me to pull ahead of him by about half a car length here as we head down towards turn 3. We will use the official terminology here of turns. Trying to get up the inside of Austin Dillon. You got Bubba Wallace right there in front of us. Keep in mind that 3 car started at the bank. You saw him pass me right at the end of stage 1 there, and he is continuing to try and move his way forward, and he's pretty successful in doing that so far here after such a short stage number 1. Bell still out in front. Can that 20 be dethroned here now? It's unbelievable. I feel like Bell is in that situation where he's one mechanical failure away from going on like a bad stretch of races now. So knock on wood if you're a Christopher Bell fan. I'm sure if you're a Bell fan, you're loving everything you're seeing in this series right now. I don't know how he's doing it, and I can tell you right now, Kyle Larson is the best overall rated driver in this mod, career mode, and he's still winless. That just shows you the diversity of the AI that comes with NASCAR Heat 5, where the best rated driver has not won yet, and we are almost at the end of the regular season. Clearing the 23 McDonald's machine there for 2311 Racing. Bubba Wallace now down to 24th. Up to P23 we go, but when you don't have the draft here in Pocono in a 4-star car, you're screwed. And you can see 9 laps ago in the stage, they were long gone down the road, and I was under pressure from multiple cars. The 17, the 2, the 23 again of the inside. Buescher goes down into turn 1. Not really much of a fighting chance at this point in time, and he's going to go sweeping past on the inside. Back down to 24th we go, but then Cindric is here. Allgaier in the 42 as well, getting ready to make some moves, but Cindric got past me, got past the 17, and then I would try and just, fight back up the inside of the 17 and try and muscle my way forward, but not enough. You can see he sticks right there at my right rear. I'm getting right on his door, just trying to pull him backwards, and then I slip up behind him, and that would allow the 42 to go by on the inside. So down to P26 is my part-time teammate of Allmendinger. I decided to keep him in for Pocono before we put Smith in for a couple of races. Now hard hit in the background. Caution's gonna fly. As you can see, McDowell, the Mid-Ohio winner, goes around, and he's still crashing into the outside wall, and that was a huge hit. And there's the replay. He blows a tire. He hit that wall at a huge speed, but he's very lucky that he hit it at a non-awkward part of the car to where he should be okay, of course, going into the next few races now. But that's going to bring everybody into the pit lane here for 4 tires, filling it up on fuel. We enter P26 into the pits. We exit P26 out of the pits here and get ready to go green again on this outside lane here alongside the 17 car for the second restart in a row. That leaves us only 3 laps of racing here in stage 2 to go now as we continue back underway on this long stretch here down towards that first corner in Pocono. The speeds used to be insane down into turn 1 here back in the Generation 6 Cup car days before they went to the low horsepower, high downforce package, that is. And if you watched, in the earlier like 2010s and whatnot and through to the mid 2010s before that change, some of the crashes you would see into turn 1, absolutely insane when the driver's brakes would fail. Jimmy Johnson comes to mind, of course, as the obvious one in the 48 car back in 2017, and many allude to that as a career defining crash for Jimmy Johnson because his performance did plateau after that, and he never won again after that, which is hard to believe if you don't count the clash in 2019, I think it was, that he won at Daytona after that contact with Paul Menard on the final lap. Clear of the 17 of Buescher again, though, on the restart through turn 3. So back up to P25, we continue through the tunnel turn, closing in on the back of the 42, and here's Kurt Busch again, having yet another rough day here now as we head down towards turn 3. It is kind of heartbreaking at this point to watch the 67 just continue to fall off as the season continues. You have to wonder where that performance went, and now he actually does a switchback. Kurt Busch, the 2004 Cup champ, back to my inside, clear down the front straightaway, back down to P25 we go. On the final lap, though, of stage 2, actually stuck with the 67, pushing him down the second back straightaway up the inside of the 2 discount tire Ford Mustang into turn number 3. Christopher Bell is going to exit turn 3 to win another stage here in Pocono. That 20 is unbelievable, as we're not going to be able to pass it to 10th place crosses the line, so P25 for us here in this second stage. I've got no pace, man. I don't know what to tell you. The adjustments are good. The car feels fine. It's just there's no speed.
Yeah, I hear you. Nothing much we can do. Just drive as hard as you can.
Christopher Bell at the top of the board, once again here in Pocono. Unreal what that team is doing right now.
It really is. You have to consider them as a Final Four lock at this point already.
And just think about the extra playoff points they will get if they win the regular season title.
Anything can happen come playoff time, though, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I like the way Steve Letarte thinks, because we've seen time and time again, the dominant car of the season sometimes doesn't even make the Final Four. Look at Kevin Harvick back in 2020 in that massive choke in Martinsville, and he ended up missing the Final Four after having a 8-win season, if I'm not mistaken. It was like 8-9 wins. It was unbelievable. But we head down into turn 1 at the beginning of this third and final stage. Now, it's pretty obvious that nothing's working for the 16 car. There's no speed here. The car handles pretty good, but I mean, there's just no speed in it. So the idea is maybe trying to switch up some pit strategy here. So we're kind of waiting on the call from our crew chief there of Stevie Speed and see what he is going to, give us an idea of now. But we continue through that tunnel turn right on the back of the 42. Cindric was trying to make a move to my inside, not quite able to get there. Our teammate there of Justin Haley, just in front here as we head down through 3. Bell continues to lead now as we have been hovering in the same area, all race long, unfortunately now, as we are hoping, for some opportunities to get creative on that strategy, but that is going to require, of course, a green flag run. So I would quickly, though, get an idea from our teammate of Stevie Speed on what the situation was going to be.
We're going to pit with 10 laps to go, no matter what anyone else does.
You hear the plan. 10 laps to go, basically, is when we're going to be coming in. So that will hopefully be under green flag conditions. That's only a couple laps from now. I get passed by the 2 of Cindric, so down to P25 we go. But yeah, that's very, very short from here. Lap 30, and here we are now down into turn 1. Bubba Wallace in my rear view mirror up the inside of the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. And now we're getting ready to come into the pit lane. As you can see myself checking the right rear tire down to 75%. So we're going to come into the pit lane at the end of this lap. 10 laps to go, and here goes Bubba Wallace now up my inside. I mean, look at the pace. There's just no speed in this car. As we head down into turn 1, we will get cleared by that McDonald's Toyota. So P26 is where we're going to head into the pit lane at here. So we're going to just stay left, get ready to pit. Hopefully not speed. It's not often we make a green flag pit stop this season. Now, perfect case scenario, a caution is going to come out sometime during this pit lane, run, as I'm going to take right side. All right, we're going to take 4 tires here now as the caution is out. So we're going to fill it up with fuel. 4 tires, maybe loosen up the car a bit, but we get, the dream case scenario. The caution is out. We can complete our pit stop. Everybody else has to pit. We will be leading for this restart, which is absolutely fantastic. We were running P26, so with the amount of laps we're going to have left, we're obviously not going to win the race. There's no speed in this car. But we can definitely get a potential top 20 instead of a 26th, 27th place. Here we are, back underway, leading in Pocono Raceway. Now, we got a miracle scenario with the caution coming out while we were in the pit lane. And here we go, down this front straightaway towards turn 1. I myself know I'm not going to be able to win this race. And I'm tired of that 20 car winning everything. So I am going to race in pretty hard here into turn 1. I'm going to slide up the track in front of the 20. That opens the door for the 9 of Chase Elliott to go through, and bringing Denny Hamlin potentially with him as I throw a block on the 11. Elliott gets clear. He drives away. Christopher Bell probably wants to just punch me in the face at this moment in time as we head down towards this tunnel turn. Joe Gibbs Racing is just right there lined up behind us. Bell, Hamlin, Truex as well. Not terribly far behind Ty Gibbs. I swear if anyone says I'm throwing again, I'm going to ban you. There's no way I'm throwing here. I mean, you see how slow this car is, but I've seen a few comments recently of a few people that think I'm throwing on purpose. All I have to say to that is I say you should maybe play Heat 5 and realize how awful the physics in this game are. And we continue on. Martin Truex Jr. clears us, and it's it's going to be this for the rest of the race. We're going to be going backwards. And here's the 20 of Bell going backwards with me. I'm sorry, Bell fans. At this point, I wasn't trying to hold him up. He was just following my lane, not going to the inside. I was leaving the inside open for these guys. He finally gets below me, so we jump down to P10. And now I'm going to go down to the inside. Here goes Suarez. Harvick trying to go to the outside of us now as they head down towards turn number 1. Only 4 laps to go in this race, and Chase Elliott is looking for his 4th win of the season. I was kind of hoping Hamlin would get to the 9 and pass him, but it wasn't looking like that was going to happen as I leaned on the door of that Freeway Insurance 99 Trackhouse Chevrolet. Of course, Suarez already locked into the playoffs there as we come to 3 laps to go. Blaney around the outside down to P13, and I'm pretty confident we're going to hang on to a top 20, which will feel like a win to me here in Pocono after running, 25th and worse for the majority of the day. Through goes to 47. Stenhouse having a competitive day. Briscoe having a decent day. Moves into 14th. Kyle Busch just behind. He's going to pass us as well as we head down this front straightaway, but now you can see down towards turn 1, P16. Here goes Keselowski looking at my inside. That was a last second move. He gets through. Bowman does as well, but the car's behind a little bit far back. Almirola being the closest. Looking like P18 a realistic opportunity to get that here as we start this final lap down into turn 1. It has not been a good race for us, but obviously a miracle perfect time caution when we went into the pit lane has put us in position to get a top 20, which is a huge improvement from where we ran, and that's going to be almost, I would say, 10 extra points, just about a little bit short of the 10 extra points compared to where we were running when we came into the pits. So those points, they're going to go a long way. They're going to make a difference here today. They're going to make a difference, of course, in a few more regular season races when we get to Daytona. Chase Elliott, however, through turn 3, he is going to match the top amount of wins this season at 4 with Christopher Bell with a win here today in Pocono. Bell probably hates me after the contact in Road America. Now me holding up him today and of course, destroying his chances of a win. We're going to cross the line in the Top Golf machine for P18. I will absolutely take that here today. The best finishing KAULIG car, which is, of course, good medicine, of course, for the owners at KAULIG who are not very happy with us right now. Haley not too far behind us. You see the top 10 there. Suarez managed to climb up to P6 at the end. That's a heck of a run as he passes for like 11th or 12th or something like that towards the end of the race. You see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. McDowell and Custer, the 2 DNFs. Now we'll take a look at the playoff standings for all 3 series. Purdy at the top of the trucks here, 4 wins on the board. Only 1 driver in on points. That's rookie Nick Sanchez as they head into the final 2 regular season races, beginning with Mid-Ohio as well, a few episodes away. Xfinity, you can see Custer at the top of the board with 4 wins on the season. Josh Berry, as well as Riley Herbst and Ryan Vargas, the 3 drivers in currently on points as they head into Pocono in the next episode. And then, of course, the Cup Series playoff grid, which we care about the most, obviously, and where we are going to be stacking up, of course. And you can see it's still not safe going into Richmond and Michigan in the next 2 episodes. And Truex is out by 25. Ryan Preece is a big one to pay attention to. He is in the playoffs right now, but he's 30th in the points. So if he falls out of that top 30, that puts Truex currently back into the playoffs, and Justin Haley, instead of being 46 out, would only be like 20 points out, basically. So it's going to be really interesting to watch this develop, and we'll take a look here really quick before we end it. Let's see the regular standings, and look at this. Priest is only in the top 30 by 5 points right now. He is going to have to work hard to make the playoffs. I'll see you guys in the next one at Richmond for some short track racing. Have a great day, everybody.